Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we'll be talking about Lord of the Rings Journeys in Middle-earth. This is designed by Nathan Haycheck and Grace Holdinghouse, and it is published by Fantasy Flight.
We are huge Lord of the Rings fans, and because of that, we have tried out a whole lot of Lord of the Rings games. Not all of them have been what we've been looking for, right? They haven't had the scope of Lord of the Rings, the adventure, the adventure and the excitement of Lord of the Rings. This game, just to tip our head in a little bit, brought a lot of that Lord of the Rings excitement that we had been looking for. All right, so normally at this point, I would go through and I would kind of give an overview of the game. This game is entirely run by an app, so I can't really do that. I'm going to kind of verbally explain what's going on a little bit, but ultimately, if you want to really learn how to play it, you just got to crack open the app, start by the game, and play it.
Yeah.
All right, so the first thing you're going to do is you are going to pick out a character. Now, there are a lot of the Lord of the Rings characters you may be familiar with. There's Bilbo, there is Aragorn, Legolas, those kinds of guys. And on top of that, on top of choosing one of those characters, you're going to choose a role within the campaign. So you can choose to be a leader. You can choose to be a musician. You can choose to be an archer or whatever they are. And they have pre-set up ones that match up with each character, but you can also customize. Maybe you want to be the musician version of Aragorn. Why not? Give it a shot. That option is available to you. All right, so then after you have your character, you're going to crack open the app. You are going to start customizing everything. You're going to play the game. There's a whole big giant stack of different terrain tiles, and they're going to tell you what to set up. So it's going to say, get out tile 301B or whatever. And you're going to set that out there, and it's going to tell you to put out certain tokens on the board. There's going to be threat tokens, which are bad things that you have to kind of check out and see if they're what's going on with those threat tokens. There's going to be just items that you can, it's something shiny off in the distance. Maybe you should check it out. And there's going to be people you hear whistling off in the distance. Should you go talk to them or whatever? All these different things that you can interact with. On your turn, you're going to get 2 actions, and they can be in any order. So, maybe it goes me, Bethany, Matt, and then our turn ends, or maybe it goes the other order. It doesn't matter. Basically, as long as everyone gets their 2 actions, it doesn't matter the order. All right, so for instance, movement. You can move up to 2 movements for one of your actions. You can also interact with any one of those tokens, those threat tokens, those people tokens, those investigation tokens. Those all take an action. And then lastly, you can actually battle as well. So you can... there's going to be foes that come out, and you can take a swing at them. And all the combat is run through the app, so it's going to say how much damage you should do based off of some card draws. There's kind of a deck building element to this game, which I'll get to in a second. And based off of your weapons that you use and what your push your luck element was, you have this much damage that you're going to do. Put that into the app. Is there any special abilities you have, like pierce, that can pierce through armor or anything like that? Put all those different effects in. It'll tell you how much damage was done to the enemy. And guess what? They're going to attack you back, and it's going to tell you how much damage they do as well. You have kind of 2 different damages that can be done to you. There's fear as well as physical damage. So kind of like a mental damage and a physical damage. So in this game, there's a kind of a deck building element, like I mentioned. Throughout the game, you're going to have the opportunity to upgrade your character. When you have more experience, you can upgrade your cards. Those cards are going to have additional special abilities, as well as there's this things called the successes and fails. So when you flip over a card, it's going to tell you to test something. It's going to say, hey, test your agility. Kind of like a standard RPG trope, right? And so you're going to flip over the amount of cards that it says to flip over, and based off how many successes are on these cards, you're going to be able to succeed or fail at this thing that it's telling you to do. And sometimes you have to keep on going back and back and back in order to fulfill one of those.
Sometimes it's like, it doesn't matter, you're going to fail.
Yeah, especially if you're Aragorn trying to be agile. He's not the most agile guy, but Legolas, he's your guy when it comes to agility or whatever the case is. So you want to customize your deck so that you're able to accomplish these things a little better. So that's just a really small scope of the game. At the end of it all, it's going to kind of update your objectives. It's going to say, hey, you need to go talk to this person. So you got to explore the board, find that person, talk to them. They might tell you to go to a different part of the board and check something else out. You have to go do that, whatever the case might be. At the end of it all, it's going to tell you whether or not you succeeded or failed on the mission. And then it's going to give you more experience points or more lore points based off of all that. That allows you to upgrade your characters even more. It's a kind of a long-winded overview of it all, but there's a lot to it, so you kind of have to explain a lot of it. And that's even without even touching how good the app is at running everything in the background.
Okay, everybody, my turn to speak.
Sorry, I was like... that was a Ryan show for 2 seconds.
Ryan always says the how-tos. I'm just not here for them. This is for you guys, this is really normal. This is what you're used to, but I'm just... Anyway, so I wanted to talk about the base characters that you get to choose from. I felt like everybody, if you're playing in a group, I know that some people solo this game, but if you're playing in a group, I really felt like people could customize their characters and everybody could kind of do what they wanted, but still our abilities were fairly equal. I felt like just the base characters that they gave you and the abilities that they gave you through the different like musician or whatever covered your bases. Like I didn't feel like we were really lacking in something when we were playing this game together. I just felt like it did that really nicely. We could do our own thing while still being covered in our group.
Yeah. This is a storytelling campaign style game, right? And I think that it did a fantastic job of immersing us in the story. So the app is going, and the app is playing kind of this music, and it's kind of perilous music. If it's a combat scene, or if it's kind of like if you're in a tavern or whatever, it's like it's little flutes and do jig music kind of stuff. Or if you make you're doing combat, you're hearing all those combat noises and sound effects and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Was that a lightsaber?
That was
you get lightsabers in this game. I don't know if you knew that.
That was supposed to be like a clink, like metal. I did not do. I did. I don't know what it is.
But the point is, there's sound effects that are way better than what we're giving you
Heck
right now. It is you're completely immersed in this world, and that's probably why we were able to string a lot of games into one session, because you just felt like you're just playing one session, just one smooth campaign.
I had such a fun, challenging time in a good way. I really like good stress in a game. And so when a game was over and you had the ability to upgrade your cards, right? You don't have a ton of cards, and sometimes you can cycle them in and out. But anyway, when you're upgrading your cards, you only have an X amount of points to be able to do that, and the cards cost different things. Here's the thing. The cards that have the coolest text on them oftentimes don't have successes on them. But the cards that have successes on them oftentimes didn't have the best text on them. And you need both. Like, you need that text, especially as the game is getting more challenging. But you need those successes, or, like, the game's pointless. So it was really fun for me to kind of, like, to have all of us choose, read all of these cards, try to work it out between all of us. Like, well, if you get this and I can get this, and just try to like get that symmetry going in such a little action, right? I mean, that was maybe 10% of the entire gameplay, if that, but it really affected the entire game in a good way.
We are huge Lord of the Rings fans. Our living room is like designed in Lord of the Rings decor.
It's true.
Like I said, we've been always been searching for that Lord of the Rings game, and well, this story is not canon, right? This is not part of the Lord of the Rings storyline. There was never a time when Aragorn and Bilbo were out there hacking up orcs together or whatever, at least to my knowledge. So there are some people who have like a little bit of a problem with that. I think that the fact that this story didn't make a lot of sense within the world of Lord of the Rings. But if you're able to suspend that reality, or whatever reality, and just think of it as a cool hypothetical adventure that these friends and adventurers could go on together, that opens you up to having a really, really great story. It was extremely exciting, I felt like the story was just really immersive. There was even forks in the road where you could actually choose one way or the other way, and there was be extra missions or extra story lines that opened up because of that decision that you made.
Cave troll.
They even have a cave troll. So yeah, there is just really, really fun stuff that happens in this game. The story is just great, and it just kind of brings your whole, your fellowship, we'll call it, together. Is just one unit cooperatively taking on the world, and it was so much fun.
And I know what you guys are thinking. That's great, Ryan and Bethany, but what did you really think of the game? Picture this. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, picture this. My brother comes over because we both have the day off, and we're just going to play some games. Ryan just grabs this game off the shelf. Let's start this. Okay, sounds fun. This is around maybe 10 or 11 a.m. We're just playing the game, enjoying ourselves, getting really involved in what's happening. And then one of us is like, I'm kind of hungry. I wonder what time it is. 4 o'clock! It's 4 o'clock! We just played this game straight for like 5 hours. Our children must have been watching TV the whole time. We are so engaged in the game we didn't even know.
And we're not TV parents.
No, we're not. We like are killjoys for television when it comes to our children. But it was just so, we were like in it, man. We were just so in it. And then we were just trying to figure out, when can we do it? When can we finish? When's our schedule going to work out? I need to see what happens. We need to finish this game.
We shotgunned this whole thing maybe 3 sessions.
It was incredible. And
3 day-long events, and it was a blast.
So even though I regret nothing, I'm also really sad. Like, I want to erase it from my memory so I can do it all over again.
And that's one of the cool things about this too, is even though the game is over, the campaign is over, you could, in theory, play it over again as different characters, or mix up your characters with your role within the campaign. And there's even expansions as well, which we have not checked out yet, but I think it's really really cool. There's that option. The campaign can carry on, the story can carry on even after you're done.
Yeah. Well, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below if there's any Lord of the Rings games that you love, or what's your favorite IP game. Let us know. We want to hear from you. Until then, don't forget to subscribe so you can see our videos as they come out. You can always find us on Facebook. We're Ryan Bethany Board Game Reviews. On Twitter, we're Ryan Bethany 1. And on Instagram, we are Ryan and Bethany.
You guys, thanks for watching. We will see you next time.
Bye.